This lesson, Instagram and TikTok strategies, mostly Instagram. This is a big one, you guys, big lesson. Do not speed through this too much because there's a lot of really important stuff here. So in this lesson, we are going to cover the purpose of Instagram for your Etsy shop. We're going to talk about how to leverage Instagram to build a cult-like following and brand-obsessed customers. The benefit of this, you guys, is long-term longevity, growth, consistent business for years and years to come. You've got to build this. You can't skip that part of growing your Etsy shop. We're going to talk about how to grow your following on Instagram, and then the purpose of TikTok for your Etsy shop. So the purpose of Instagram is really more about nurturing relationships with your current customers and building that cult-like following than finding brand new customers who have never found or heard of you before. So it's really about nurturing your customer base, nurturing the people who are already taking an interest in you, than really finding brand new people. So this strategy is very complementary to the Pinterest strategy, because the Pinterest strategy is 100% focused on getting new eyes on your shop, right? People who have no idea who you are, they have no idea, who the person pinning it is, but it's all about new eyes. Now, the Instagram strategy is a lot more about nurturing your relationships with your current customers and your current followers and building that cult-like following. So you are still going to use Instagram to find new customers and get new eyes on your shop, especially during the sprinting phase. But just know in the back of your mind that the biggest benefit of Instagram in the long term is going to be cultivating a relationship with your people, building hype and elevating your brand in that way. What did Instagram do for me? Over 6 years, I grew to 11,900 followers. The biggest thing that Instagram has done for me is build up my shop reputation and offer additional value to my customers so that I can justify increasing my prices and charging more to improve my profitability without losing sales. My sales increase when I charge more. When I become more premium and when I position myself in a more premium way, I make more money. It's not, some people think, oh, if I charge more, my sales are going to drop. But no, if you're doing this right, if the more premium you become, the more desirable you can become, and it really works out nicely. So I use Instagram to offer a VIP service and VIP treatment to my customers that my competition is not willing to do in the same way. So I leverage Instagram to be a competitive advantage over all my competition. And this really ensures that I stay the market leader. I am always going to be having this edge because honestly, most people are too lazy to execute a consistent Instagram strategy. I know that sounds terrible to say, but most people, they kind of get on the Instagram bandwagon and then fall off. So, they're strong for 2 weeks and then they fall off for 2 weeks. They kind of ghost their audience, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Life happens, right? Things happen. But the key is showing up consistently is something that I know my competition is either unable or too lazy to do. So that's what I use. I use this as a competitive advantage in my customer service. And this is why my hourly wage is well over $100 an hour. So I have been able to use Instagram to get partnerships with influencers, such as Bachelor, Bachelorette, people who are on the show, like contestants, interior designers for celebrities. This is how I worked with Gretchen from The Real Housewives. I worked with the Skinny Confidential blogger, Lauren. I worked with Sean Johnson, the gymnast, and more. So Instagram is all how I did that. So these partnerships that I did, these collaborations got me, one, new eyes on my products from prospective customers who happen to be my target customer, right? And I also got from these collaborations an email list of over 110,000 prospective customers. So the reason I worked with all these people particularly was because I was targeting moms and people who were in kind of the baby market. So all the people who I've done partnerships with, they were either pregnant or just had a baby, or that was kind of on the horizon for them, right? Family life. I wasn't doing collaborations with people who were, 21 years old, going out to nightclubs, that type of influencer. That was not my person. So I did partnerships with influencers who resonated with my target customer and who my target customer followed. And ultimately, Instagram has been the platform that I've used as a bridge to drive my Etsy customers from Etsy to my own website to improve my profitability. That's all in the marathon strategy. This is why you don't want to start with your own website before Etsy. And this is how you can actually leverage Etsy's marketing and their customer base to grow your own website. So you do this very, very carefully in order to not go against any of Etsy's policies. And I'm going to show you how to do this when you are ready to bring your Etsy customers somewhere else where you can take home a higher margin and more profit when they buy on a different platform. Okay, so the basics of your Instagram. This is what you need to do. Number one, you have your shop name, your location, and a link to your Etsy shop at the top of your Instagram. So your name is optional. You do not need to have your shop brand name, your Etsy shop's name, and then your name as well. You can if you want to, but you do not have to. It kind of depends on what products you offer and what type of customer you are serving. So also have the logo, have your profile picture or logo on Instagram be either your shop logo or a top selling, super recognizable product that you are known for. Honestly, I have switched between both, and I actually liked it. I think it looked a lot better when I had a top selling product that I was known for, something I was a market leader in, because customers recognize that, to be honest, more than they would recognize my logo. But it totally depends on what your top selling products look like. Like if you are doing, Canva templates, no, that's not going to work for your profile photo on Instagram. And at the top of your Instagram profile, you are going to say something about your customer that you target. So you're going to say something about the customer that you target, or something about the product categories that you serve. So you're not going to be too broad, but you're not going to be too specific. So we don't want to just say something like a shop for women's gifts or a home decor shop. Like, we're not just going to do that, but we're also not going to be too specific. We're not going to say candles for moms or circular birch wood signs. Like, that's really specific. We want to be a little broader than that, so to open up opportunity to bring in new products. So the key here is you can also add something about shipping worldwide if you're willing to do that. Or if you are not shipping a physical product, you can just say something about like serving customers worldwide or something along those lines. Okay, number 2, so you've created your Instagram. Number 2, you need to post one time a day. I know, it's all about consistency, but never miss 2 days in a row during your sprinting phase. So with social media, yes, there is burnout, right? It happens, but I'm going to give you some ideas to use when you are burned out so that you don't have to put any effort into showing up. You don't have to think of anything to show up. It's going to be that I'll give you some things that can be your go-to. Okay, I just have to check this box for today, show up one time on Instagram, and you don't even have to think of anything because I'm just going to give you the way to do it. So that's coming in this lesson. And remember, since stories only live 24 hours on Instagram, make sure that you are utilizing stories highlights and saving your stories to stories highlights whenever applicable in order to make that content live forever, right? Because you're putting effort and energy into showing up on stories, right? It takes effort. It takes some courage. So try to always save those stories to a stories highlight when possible. So you might be thinking, okay, like what stories highlights should I be doing? I don't even know what would fit into what. So I'm going to give you a starting point here. So you're going to have a stories highlight for customer reviews. You're going to title it customer reviews or just reviews or testimonials, whatever kind of fits with your product line the best. Then you're going to have one highlight, a stories highlight per product type that you create. So let's say you do wedding invitations. Let's say you do wedding favors. Let's say you do bridal shower decor. Let's say you do baby shower invitations. Like, let's say you cover all of those different product types. You're going to have a different highlight per product type so that if a customer wants to see all these examples of, wedding invitations that you've made, you have one highlight dedicated to that. It's all about kind of making little catalogs for customers to go through when they want to know about one specific thing that you do. The next highlight that you're going to have is something that's behind the scenes. Now, you guys, people love this stuff. I know it might feel weird or cringy or like, why do I need to let them into my home? Like, this looks like an absolute, bomb went off. Do I really need to do this? Yes, you do. Okay. You don't have to show everything, but showing glimpses of behind the scenes is so valuable in making you relatable, making them comfortable to buy. People are curious. Okay. They're really curious, especially about small businesses. So give the people what they want. Okay. You're going to have another stories highlight titled customer photos. And this is going to be for all the photos that customers have sent you of your items being used or displayed. Now, when you share these photos, you're going to either put them on your feed initially or in your stories. And if you put them in your feed, the way to get them to your stories highlight is to share that post to your stories. And then the story that you've shared it in, you just click save to highlight. There you go. So that's how you do that. And you're going to have another stories highlight called Meet the Maker or something similar. This is going to be something that is all about you. This is where you put the stuff that makes you relatable, maybe funny, maybe just shows kind of your daily life, maybe your family stuff. Like you're going to show yourself as someone who is likable and trustworthy, and you want them to feel like they know you through this stories highlight. So all of your personal stories, you're going to save to that. It doesn't need to be this, formal like introduction on your stories. Like, hi, my name is Dylan and I make, wedding decor for brides and I love what I do. Like, you don't need to show up like that under this Meet the Maker highlight. You can literally, any personal stories that you share of your kids, grandkids, like of your family, of your meals, like of your city where you live, of your workspace, like of yourself, like cheersing with a little coffee or something, like this is where you put that stuff. You can do more formal stuff too, like talking about how you got started. That's great to have too, but don't feel pressure like you need to like write this whole script up and read it off. And it's not a YouTube video. This is really much more casual, kind of off the cuff. So my number one advice with Instagram, I should have made a whole slide, but don't overthink, just post it. Do not overthink anything. Just throw it up, right? You just got to be a little bit savage. And that means just, aggressive, not overthinking, not overanalyzing, not over planning or over preparing. Just Be a little bit spontaneous here. Don't wonder, I wonder if people will like this. Just put it up. Okay. The next thing you're going to have as a stories highlight is how to order little highlight. And this is something where you use your phone, you screen record on your phone how to place an order in your Etsy shop. So this is something where you are literally scrolling on your phone while you're screen recording, and you are showing how to add something to a cart, how to where to click checkout, how to select the quantity, the variations, type in the name. You're pretending like you are a customer ordering, right? This is a really great thing to do, to include if you have any element of customization or options, variations. It's a really good idea to include this in your stories highlight. The next thing you want to have is a frequently asked questions. And I'm going to show you how to do this. And I realize, yes, you probably are not getting any questions when you first start. So I'm going to show you how to do this so that it's all about perception, you guys. So with your customer reviews, this is really very important. For every positive review, even a previous positive review that you've gotten on Etsy, maybe it was even a year ago, right? Maybe your Instagram has been dead for a while. Maybe you've never ever done this with a review before. Okay, that's good because that means you have content. That means you have content to use. It honestly does not matter what date the review was left. As long as you haven't shared it before, share it now. So what you're going to do is take a screenshot of the review on your phone, because this allows you to crop it to a nice square image. If you try to do a screenshot on your computer, it's going to be like a long, skinny, horizontal image, and that's just not going to be readable on a phone, on Instagram stories or in your main feed as a post. So keep it square by taking a screenshot of your phone, crop it down to just the review itself. We don't want to have how much battery life you have left. We don't want to see if you have messages from customers at the bottom, only the review itself. So while you are building up your Instagram, I recommend posting this review screenshot as an in-feed post, which means it's going to be a static post that lives forever. And then have a simple caption. You don't need to overthink it, just something simple, because honestly, most people don't read captions, about how you love your customers or how interacting with your customers is the best part of your job, or something warm and fuzzy. It just can be, love my customer's heart. It does not need to be complicated, but put it as an in-feed post. And then you are going to share that post, that review, to your Instagram stories and save it to your stories highlight that you've titled reviews. So what is the purpose of this? This matters because it's going to increase your conversion over time. You need to blast it out there that you are a shop with a good track record. You have positive reviews, especially when you're a small shop and you're growing. So this ensures that customers who are thinking about buying, that they will be reminded that yes, this is a good decision, do it. So it also is going to increase your positive review count over time, because customers, first of all, they love the shout out. Even if they don't say anything, they might leave a little heart or something, but it means a lot to them when they see that you've appreciated their review. And when other people see that you have appreciated a review from one of your other customers, they are more likely to leave one for you themselves. So it's just a reminder oftentimes to your other customers to go ahead and leave that review. So highlighting your reviews in this way also, it really personalizes you. It makes you relatable, and it personalizes your shop a bit more. It shows that you're showing a little bit of emotion, and that it's not super emotional or anything. It's just showing gratitude, simply showing gratitude and just being grateful towards the customers that you serve. So it's just a little token of appreciation. So reviews are a huge asset. Your reviews are going to allow you to charge more money. It's going to allow you to raise your prices, and you want to highlight this asset in every place possible. So another thing that you are going to do is use your sneak peek photos to make those product highlights in your stories. So with every order that you make and ship, you will video the item and you will take photos of it for a sneak peek video on Instagram stories, or a sneak peek reel that you share to Instagram stories. So I know reels are intimidating, right? You think, oh my gosh, I could never do a reel. How am I supposed to come up with that? Just use your sneak peeks as your reels. All reels really have to be are just some type of video or photo to music. You pick the music you like, you add the photos or the video, and boom, it's a reel. Honestly, the first reel you do it's not going to feel comfortable, but you got to be uncomfortable to have huge success and huge growth. So just start posting some reels, some sneak peeks on reels, save that reel so you're going to share the reel to your stories, and you're going to save that story to your highlight under that title of the product type. So let's say you sell crochet hats and someone orders a hat from you. You're going to take a video of it. You're going to post it to music, as a reel, and then you're going to share that reel to your stories, and you're going to save that story to your stories highlight titled crochet hats. If you have digital products, you might be thinking, oh man, none of this applies to me, but no, it does. It really does. So you need to still do this for your digital products. And if you ever customize any digital product, that is a new item to share. And customize, I mean if you change a font, if you change a color, if you change a pattern, any difference, right? Anything that is a different element about it, that's customization. That's something you need to share. So if you don't customize digital products, then you will still want to share the one that you're selling as a sneak peek of what a customer ordered that day. So this sneak peek, it's not really for the customer, right? It's not for the customer who ordered it. This type of sneak peek is really for your followers so they can see, oh, other people want this. Oh, this is in demand. Okay, this is cool. People are buying it. Maybe it's something that I would want. So when something is seen as more popular, people are more likely to be interested in it. So I recommend showing a screenshot of the mock-up and maybe a video of your actual computer screen itself, or print out that digital product and show a physical printed item. This really makes it tangible. And honestly, you could just literally print out one of each of your digital products onto a printed page and have that to show. You can use that for all your content. So it's really important to do stuff like this when you're selling digital products, because it makes it tangible. It makes it real. It shows the customer, the end user, okay, wow, that really does look good on a page, on an 8.5 by 11. Like, that really does look good. So have one of each, have a sample of each of your digital products in hand that you can use for all of your content. So now for print on demand products on Instagram. For print on demand, still do sneak peeks and stories, highlights of your products. So I understand it might not be feasible to have a sample of everything. So use some of your mock-ups, use some of your listing photos, but it's still really important to have essentially a catalog of all of your items on Instagram. So you could have highlights titled things like fall collection, Christmas, your mama shop, etc. So I highly recommend still having a couple of samples of your top sellers, or what you anticipate will be your top sellers, because this will allow you to showcase the material, the sizing, the fit, the texture, the color, etc. So you see a lot of influencers, in the fashion space who are doing try-on hauls, right? They're doing try-on hauls because people want to know what size they should order. Oftentimes, that is the thing that prevents people from ordering apparel online, is they don't know what size to order. So it's really great if you can show yourself wearing something. Maybe it's, one of your top sellers or something, to show the sizing, the fit, the texture, color, the length, everything like that. Give your height, give what size you normally wear, so that they can really visualize how that would look on themselves. So you're going to see way higher conversion in your listings for print on demand if you do this, and from your Instagram followers if you show the actual product via video beyond a mock-up. So now for supplies. Supplies should still be shown on Instagram as products in the feed, in reels, in stories highlights. So you're going to use photo and video to showcase relative size, color, and texture. You're going to use Instagram more as a tool to give your customers inspiration as to how those supplies could be used. You can also use other people's photos for this. It is not necessary to use your own photos. You don't need to use these supplies and actually make a ton of stuff to show ways it could be used. I recommend sharing photos from other Instagram accounts who use supplies like yours as a component of their finished goods. This is going to hugely increase your follower count and create new customers at the same time. And the new customers are going to be other businesses that use them to make a finished product, or people who are doing a DIY. So highly recommend doing this if you have supplies. It really connects you. It's a great way to connect with other potential customers by sharing photos from accounts that show like the end use of the item once the component is included in it. I think this is a really great way to go. Most people with supplies, most Etsy shops with supplies don't do this, and it's a huge missed opportunity. Now, let's say that you are offering services as part of your digital download on Instagram, right? Let's say you are on Etsy. Then you should definitely be showing this service in action on Instagram as an in-feed post, but more importantly through video. So this is reels, this is stories that you save to your highlights, right? Because people buy from people. So you have a huge opportunity here to show the transformation of your service, right? So the before and the after. You can show the process. Now, I recommend when you're showing the process of your service that you highlight the parts that really heighten the barrier to entry, that raise that barrier to entry. This is one, good to prevent copycats, but two, to showcase your value and your expertise, to emphasize that you are an authority. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. You're experienced. So show parts of the process that really highlight those things that are maybe more of a barrier to entry to some people who think, oh, I could do that. You want them to see what you post and think, oh, wow, that actually takes a lot of work. So with your services, you're going to showcase examples of how you interact with customers to customize things for them and communicate back and forth with them, right? If they send you a message like thanking you so much for everything, or saying how helpful, your tutorial was or something, you're going to screenshot that, blur out their name, and share it, okay? So communication is an asset that you leverage in your customer service. So give sneak peeks of this, right, of your communication to show customers how detail-oriented, how professional and thorough you are. So just make sure to scribble out or blur out their name of the customer for privacy reasons. You don't want to feel like you breached any boundaries with them, of course. So use your own discretion here, but showcase your communication style when you offer a service.